When I think about emotional health for women, I think about the word awe. To be in awe of something is to be in wonder of that. To be at the edge of the Grand Canyon, you respect the space. You respect the fact that, oh man, this is a little bit scary, but you also can experience its vastness, its beauty. You can be in wonder of that. And I think that that word really is such a great descriptor for what it means for women to have emotional health. It's to be able to be present, whole, fulfilled, and connected to our sensations, embodied, and really be in that in a full and beautiful way. So I wanted to break down the word awe in terms of an acronym that can really help us ground ourselves in what would it look like for me to have emotional health. The first letter A would stand for awareness. We need to be able to notice where we are. We need to be able to notice how we get triggered in certain situations, how certain things and situations make us feel. And that is really the first part to have emotional health because we need to really understand where we're standing on. And that is, in my opinion, probably the hardest part because just noticing and being with ourselves in what's happening right now in the present moment, I think can be very difficult for people depending on their trauma history and what they've experienced and what they've been through. But awareness is very key and very important in noticing where it is that we stand so that we can figure out where we're going to go. The W is going to stand for willingness. In emotional health work, we have to be willing to try. We have to be willing to take a step in a new direction. We have to be willing to meet our edge of kind of like discomfort and really allow ourselves to go through the process, right, of healing and this work of I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and then I'm going to come back to my body and recognize that I'm safe enough. Recognize that it's okay for me to try new things and that I'm safe in that. And I think the willingness also has to be in tapping to the unknown. There is a lot of need for faith when it comes to emotional health because a lot of us have not related in specific ways in our life and we really want to relate and have better relationships and better connections, but not all of us have experienced that based on our history. So it's so important to have willingness to try, willingness to step out of our comfort zone, willingness to step into the unknown, into the uncharted territory, and have faith that we'll be able to come back on the other side in a way that feels more fulfilling for us, more present, more connected, more alive. The last letter is going to be E, and E stands for ebb and flow. So it's a little bit of a cheat because it's more than one word. But I think that this is so important, specifically for women who are such cyclical beings that we are really not ever on a linear, straight path to healing. That there are going to be times where we thought we worked on something and we thought that we were over it, or that we let something go and it's still really kind of pinging us, and noticing the difference as we evolve and grow, how we responded to things now versus how we responded to them back in the day. The ebb and flow is so important for women who are really tapping and understanding the power of our cycles, the power of having ability to regulate at different times of our cycle, that it's going to be harder for us to do regulation of our nervous system when we are menstruating versus when we are in our follicular phase, and really honoring that and putting that to practice and putting that to test. Learning to rest when we really need deep rest, learning to nurture and love on ourselves when we really need that, and then learning to do and be active and work and do all the things when it's time to do that. And we're actually much more productive when we allow ourselves to ebb and flow and go with our rhythm. And we forget a lot of times that we have an inner compass that guides us and helps us with this. So, really tapping back into that W of willingness, of really trying to work and supporting our rhythms and learning about our own rhythm and cycle and how that can support us in really being our most authentic and best self in the world and getting the things done that we really want to get done, the things that are purposeful for us, that matter to us. That is to have emotional health. So, emotional health is to be in awe, is to be in fullness of your sensations, to be connected to your body and to the world around you, to feel safe in that, to feel good in that. And that does come with definitely awareness as number one, willingness to try, and really honoring the female body as we ebb and flow through different capacities and abilities that are really represented at different various points of our cycle. So I hope that helps somebody. And if you have any questions, you can always send me a message. I really love talking about all things emotional health, spirituality, mental health, and somatic based techniques.